I just noticed my Astronomia video got like 1.6 million views. That's quite a lot of views. I don't know. Dang, like people really like this remix. Like just to show you my stats. So basically I uploaded the remix on April 24th, 2020. And in like a span of a month, reached kind of like under 500,000 views. It kind of just stayed there, gradually growing. So it was like, okay, it was just a regular remix. But then all of a sudden, like after like 6 months later, this thing started picking up fast. I don't know why it did. YouTube is so weird. Basically about it, so I decided, you know what? Maybe some of you guys were curious like how I made the remix, so I'm gonna go over that in the full version. There's a lot of like new stuff in the remix that I didn't show. If you haven't watched the video, go watch the video. It gives you a good outline how I made the remix. Here's the full project. It's really big, roughly around 126 tracks. Here's how I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna go over each section. As you can see, there's roughly around 14 sections. However, before I start, I'm going to need energy. You make sure you punch that subscribe button, smash like, because I need that inspiration. So yeah, basically the song is in F sharp minor. So here are the chords. Huh? Then, you know, alto sax, sample library I used. It basically was by Fable Sounds. It's basically just a jazz sample library. I just rendered this and put some OTT and some Valhalla plate. I did add some like, I think sprinkles? I forgot what they're called. And I added a bass guitar. Load in just an amplitude. And it just repeats. And as you can see, I got so lazy. Yeah, I added drums from Superior Drummer. I just used the core library. Yeah, I just used a preset called Big Band Leady. Added some virtual mix and OTT. Basically, throughout the track, this is basically used as more like decoration type of effect. Usually playing like fills, cymbals. I mean, you'll hear it throughout the remix. So if we hear it all together. Like you can hear all those elements. It's very small. So yeah, that's basically the intro. Let's start off. Now the build-up. Build-up is basically the whole idea of this whole entire remix. The piano is probably the most important part of this track. 130 gigs of piano. And this one's processed differently compared to the one in the intro, where this one is just raw, where this one, called Groovy Piano, is just processed with OTT, EQ, different filters. Like these are basically all automations. So this is what I played. And I actually just programmed this. I didn't actually play it because I wanted that quantized feel. But basically the chords are very straightforward. So you basically have F sharp minor to B minor to C sharp major. And it just kind of repeats. And obviously the bass, well, I guess the left hand is playing, you know, this do 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 do, and this lick I just program it to make it groovy. Jazz and just a bunch of effects. This is the bass. It's a typical square bass with a sub. But yeah, add some saturation, glue compression, kickstart, and you can see these automations. I'll explain this more, but basically I automated this, so some notes I wanted to hold longer, so I just automated this. You'll see it more useful in like, yeah, right here. It comes in like the second chord. I added this loop, which is kind of the foundation. That kind of glues the whole entire track. Also, I quantized them to triplet because I wanted a swing vibe, and I added like this clap over that clap, you know. So if you add it together, ooh. And here's the fill. This is like some donk thing. I don't remember. Yeah, oh, cowbell. And here's the drum. Now, these, I froze them because they're basically plays the same thing, but plays a bunch of chords. I'm not going into too much detail, but basically if you heard the brass, why did I freeze them? Because like, so basically the library I used was by Mojo Horns, and you see all these articulations, and I pretty much like had to like select different articulations. Like I said, a horn, as you can hear. As you can see, this is an articulation, this is a stab. I could switch it to a staccato, and I get a different sound. If I did a rundown, I get a completely different sound. So basically all I did was to program this as well as the chords, and then I just froze it so I don't have to like worry about going back. And it's also a lot easier to edit. As you can see, I did some edits here and there. So basically you would have, I haven't labeled this. Why didn't I label this? This is basically horns, trumpets, trombone, and well, basically that's a tuba. Actually, is that a tuba? Actually, I don't even remember. Oh, bass trombone and baritone sax. All together, it's, and this is all the processing, NLS, OTT. Why I had transient? I don't even remember. And this is being automated by a filter, as you can see. Yeah, there's different types of sidechain, as I told you, but this one is going along with the kick. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically going along with this kick, but it's basically the same pattern. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm just sidechaining it to a kick. So if we hear it all together. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I had a bass slide. Now let's go over the chorus. Okay, chorus 1 and 2 are pretty much technically the same, but of course in chorus 2 it has that fill. But let's just go over chorus 1. Okay, in chorus 1, here's the beat. Same loop with this impact, cymbal. And I just layered a bunch of claps. And why did I put my kick? Everything's so disorganized. Like, look at this. Like, my kick is all the way right here, yet all the percussion stuff is right here. That is so weird. That's messed up. But yeah, basically here's the beat. Before chorus 2 hits, there's a little transition. Snare, snare, tom, tom, snare, kick. Same beat again, but this time I added a ride. It's just doing the bum 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 bum. And this is where the kickstart basically turns on. And it's just a simple at 78%. It's just a typical, you know, boom boom. Chorus 1 continues, and I layered with a saxophone section. And as you can see, all Fable sounds, I combined a bunch of altos with tenors, and they all have different mic positions, and it kind of acts like a group, and they're all panned differently as well. Like if we hear it, okay, before chorus 2 comes in, there's that fill I talked about. I play a clarinet section that does this weird do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Add a bunch of stabs. It's basically these sample libraries. I use the articulation to create a stab, as you can hear. Hear it all together. I didn't add reverb? Oh, that's weird. Now it's chorus 2. It's same thing as chorus 1, but same beat, but this time the bass now you see all the automation. As I showed you about like automating the sustain and the pitch bend. The sustain turns on when it does like a pitch bend. So basically it's doing this and then while it's pitching down. You know? And usually every offbeat I'll add like a bass slap. Kind of sounds like it's like an electronic synth type of bass guitar when it's actually not, but it gives it that sort of slappy vibe, you know? It actually sounds really cool when you hear it all together in the mix. Yeah, now the horns come in. They're basically playing the same chords as we talked about with the piano. It's just a different rhythm. And same thing, the saxophones, you know. So when it does the that's when the trumpets come in. That's what gives it like that big band sound, you know? And yeah, now we go to the fill. Okay, now the fill. The fill sounds very complex. Like, let's just hear it. But yeah, just to go over the fill, it's actually not as complicated, but the chords get so weird. Okay, so let's just start off with the piano. This is what basically the piano. It's still that F sharp minor 6 in third inversion. Then it goes to an A major 7 flat 5. But I don't play the third. I don't know why I didn't do that. I guess I just liked it, the openness, I guess. And it just chromatically goes down to a G sharp major 7 flat 5, down to an F major 7 flat 5. Then I do basically an A sus2 run. C sharp, C sharp 7 9 sharp. I don't even know. Too much jazz. Bass plays the same thing. Other saxophone section and the trumpets. And now we're at the build-up. This is build-up 2. So basically, the piano, like you said, the piano basically just played at F sharp minor major 7 and just, you know, the hand thing, you know this stuff? Like that. That's basically all I did. And I added a bunch of, you know, piano slide, jazz, blues stuff. Then it goes half a step down to an F minor major 7 chord. And this is where the bari sax comes in. And basically these are just playing slides. And yeah. And as you can hear, like there's a filter, like it turns off, but then it turns on. It's basically a build-up effect, you know? And basically the kick kind of goes along with the chord. And I also reverse the kick, give it that weird wonkiness. Oh my god, I did add the I forgot to add the sub bass. Wow. Now it's the drop. The drop is pretty much like a bass house, typical drop. So this is basically the beat. Now it's all about the growls. I'm not gonna go like all the details, like how I did them. But all I can say is some were sound design I made and some were just preset. Like, yeah, I made this one. Basically, all this is just F and F sharp. It's just going do 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 do, where it basically goes to. Now it basically plays a bass line. The piano really supplements this part because it basically tells you what the key of the song is. And then you have the sub bass. I don't know why I did this, but I think it to me it just added a lot of groove. It's just playing F. You know, the F key gives it movement. Like without it, it sounds kind of empty. But when you add it with the sub, then when you add it with the main bass, basically the drop, this is the main core idea of this drop, and these are just basically like elements that make the drop more interesting. These are just the elements by themselves. Then when you add it with the drop, you start to notice. Woo! hearing it all together, it's like, ooh, yeah. And then the saxophone comes in. And it pretty much repeats the same thing, but I do more fancier stuff. Now the second drop takes the beat is still the same. However, this time the main growls are pretty much these growls. Do 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 do. And this time there's a lot more elements. Like take for example this one. It's kind of hard to see, but this really adds it. Obviously the rest are kind of copied from the first drop. But basically, this idea completely changes. This one's like an upbeat I made. Okay, so I used some scream wave I don't know where I got this from, but... Dude. During that second drop, it now has a chord progression going through. Using an auto filter. But this time, the saxophone section and the trumpet play it together. Trumpet being an octave higher than the saxophone. Then here's this do-do-do. And yeah, that's basically drop 2. Okay, the jazz section. Oh man, I don't remember what I played. Okay, I'll just play this section and I'll just show you all the chords that I used. And basically the saxophone just plays that melody according it to whatever the key the piano is playing in. Obviously, I did not play this with a metronome. I pretty much just freestyled this one because I wanted to make it sound like piano's following along what the saxophone is playing. So if we actually just hear it, like you can hear the piano following along the saxophone. Too much effort for this stupid beat. So the saxophone here, starting here, it plays the melody first. Then if you hear, the piano plays that melody. It's almost like a talk back, you know? It's like the saxophone talks first here. It says one phrase. The piano comes in and complements that phrase. And then they kind of all seamlessly go together. Just 2 instruments. It's kind of like a pre-build-up, I guess you could say, because then we go into build-up 3. And this one's pretty straightforward. I have the piano playing the same thing, but using a filter, impacts. You now actually hear the melody, which is basically the real melody from the, Astronomia song. Yeah, it's basically just a sawtooth wave, where basically the LFO is routed to the coarse pitch, and it's just playing really fast. That's how you get that really slicing, that sound. That's basically all I'm doing. The horns are playing the same thing, what it was played in the first build-up. Oh my god, this track is too big. Build-up. I actually got so lazy, I didn't want to put too much effort, so I just slapped on some claps. Do. Yeah. This one's just a bass. I just used a sample. I just didn't want to make it anymore. And I use an endless smile thing. This synth comes in. I made this. It's like this weird, it's just a square where you have a LFO shape, which is routed to the coarse pitch, which is basically routed to make it an octave higher, so you can hear the note, and I put some distortion, bit crush really, and OTT. And this is where we go to the chorus chorus 1, I guess. I guess you could call it a drop. I just called it a chorus. I don't know why. Because, okay, let's just hear chorus 1. This chorus. This one's the glitch hop. It's basically the same thing as in chorus 1, but this time the genre is completely different. Like, in chorus 1, it's just electro swing. Then all of a sudden at the end, it's now glitch hop. Now, you might be wondering, why you decide to completely change the genre at the end? Well, I guess, I'm not sure why, but I think it's because I didn't want it to be boring, you know? Maybe it was just too much jazz, but like, think about it. Like, take for example, let's say, like, okay, let me play the build-up here. So originally, chorus 1 was supposed to be the electro swing part, but I decided I wanted the glitch hop. Normally, it would have been like this. You have build-up 3, just playing it. Then chorus 1, electro swing part. Like, yeah, it could have worked, but I felt like it was just kind of boring and rehashing everything that I did in the beginning. So I wanted something a bit more interesting. So that's sort of where the glitch hop comes in. Basically, the chords are pretty much exactly the same, but the rhythm is a bit different. But yeah, so here are the saw chords. I made all these super saw, routed their pitch bend to the macro, so it'll be a lot easier to do the pitch bend, because when you hear it, there's a lot of pitch bends in this progression. Like, as you can see, look at the pitch bend. Same thing with the bass. You have the sub and you have like the gritty bass. You know. Yeah. Beat is pretty much straightforward. It's just typical dubstep drums. Obviously having the reverse snare on every fourth beat. Now these leads I've made, you have the, you know, the typical Astronomia lead with a little bit of a variation. And then you have this weird lead I made, I don't remember how. It's a square thing. And yeah, and this is where the growls happen. I don't want to go over how I did this, but basically, it's sort of like something I added to make the drop more interesting. A lot of virtual riot sounds. Like, here's the drop without it. It just sounds kind of boring. Obviously, yeah. It just sounds bland, but when you add the growls in, woo! Now it sounds like glitch hop. Then now we pretty much go to the final with chorus 2, which is pretty much the outro. It's pretty much chorus 1, but I kind of take some elements from chorus 1 in the electro swing and a little bit from the bass house and kind of put it all together. Leads are pretty much the same, but I added like another lead. Oh, that's not that one. It's this one. I added this lead. It's just a super saw wave, and here the brass playing pretty much the same thing that was played in chorus 1 in the electro swing section. And basically the alto sax, I pretty much just improv. I just did a solo. Pretty much straightforward, but now there's a part like it's basically, I call it a drop fill, because like this is still technically glitch hop dubstep, you know. Yeah, virtual riot sounds. This one particularly, the main sound. This is clearly a virtual riot sound. Yeah, it's just a preset. And I layered it with my sound that I made. I don't remember how I made this, but okay, I did some FM to assign with, but like they both kind of need each other. Like if we just hear the drop without like my sound that I made, it sounds kind of weak. It just sounds too weak. Let's hear it without this. I'm just wondering, just without the virtual ride sound. Ooh. Yeah, they both need each other. They both complement each other, so. Oh yeah, and then the piano's basically playing the chords here. But it's now, there's no like do 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 do. It's just all upbeats now. Just to avoid like frequency clashes, you know? And that's pretty much it. And yeah. That's it. I was thinking about adding more, but I was like, it's already at 419. I decided I just wanted to end it at 420 because it's like, look, it's like we're so close to 420. I was like, yeah, just leave it at 420. And that's pretty much it. That's the entire track. That's pretty much it for today. That's pretty much how I make music. Hopefully you learned something. I know there's still a lot of concepts that's kind of hard because it's a lot of stuff. Let me know down in the comments if you want like actual theory based type of videos, kind of like similar to the music theory video I made a while ago. Just let me know down in the comments. Yeah, if you like what you see, make sure you push that subscribe button, hit the bell, all notifications, check out my other videos. Yeah, hopefully you learned something, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.